Welcome back in. We are going to interrupt our coverage here tonight for a tornado warning that has just been issued now in central Illinois. This is going to be for Christian County, and that tornado warning here was just issued moments ago by the National Weather Service. We have been watching this storm for the last 15 minutes and assessing its rotation and keeping an eye on it, and the National Weather Service has gone ahead and pulled a tornado warning now for central Christian County here. That is going to go, looking at the information coming in from the National Weather Service, that is going to be in place until looks like the time they're going to have on that until 8:15 p.m. They are seeing the same thing we are, some mid-level rotation and a developing supercell thunderstorm. That's going to be to the west of Taylorville, located along between Taylorville, just south of the St. Chris Lake area, towards Pawnee, the Kincaid, Tovey area, where that area of rotation is now moving to the east and southeast. This warning will include Taylorville. It will include Assumption. It's going to include Pana as well, and parts of south central Christian County, including the golf course. The lake there by Taylorville is what we're also looking at. Not going to include the northern part of the county up there. Mount Auburn, you're good. Edinburgh, Stonington, you are all clear. From Taylorville to the south, Assumption to the west, Pana to the west, and then Kincaid, Tovey to the south and east there. Sangamon County will give you an all clear here. We are not including Pawnee or any of Sangamon County. Going to be to your east, though, by just a little bit, and so that is what we are going to watch and keep a close eye on things here. If we can, I'd like to triple box and show you the storms, and if we can, we'll show you with the top right one in the triple box. We've got storm tracker. Seth is out there. He's heading down into that general direction, and then I'd like to get a sky camera up in place of that bottom right box there, if we can, instead of max 1. So if we can throw a sky cam there, that'd be helpful, because I got a view of it from Springfield that I think would be a little bit more optimistic. That's Danville. Here's Springfield now. What you're looking at is in the bottom right there is the actual storm on the backside from Springfield, looking off to the east with this tornado warning that is now in effect here. And so we've got eyes in the ground, we've got eyes in the sky, and we're going to continue to keep an eye on this storm here at least until 8:15 because of this tornado warning that has just been issued for central Christian County. We'll hit the reset button area wide. This is not a concern for a lot of areas here. So far, we're all clear. Only one warning on the board, and that is for the Christian County area here. There are a couple other storms popping up. Iroquois County, not much concern there, but a cluster of storms south and east of Springfield we are also watching. In addition, control, if we could change the crawl to the bottom left, that'd be helpful as well. And we're set to go here for the next little bit with this tornado warning that is now in effect for Christian County. And that's going to continue here until 8:15. When you look at the storm, we'll zoom in on it. So what we've been watching is this rotation at the mid-levels here. And the storm shape itself does illustrate to us a little bit about what this looks like here. And so when you look at that here, see this kind of curved shape here? What we've got is a southwest wind out there. This storm moving to the southeast, and that's helping to generate some rotation. Much more evident at the mid-levels at this point. Not as much close to the ground, but still the National Weather Service has gone ahead and decided to issue a tornado warning for this. This is going to include Illinois 48 between Morrisonville and the city of Taylorville. Illinois 29 between Taylorville and Pana. It'll include 104 from the county line through Kincaid, Tovey, off into Taylorville, and then also areas south of Taylorville. I know the golf course is out here. You got the lake on the east side. It'll be heading in that general direction. At this point, not a concern north of Taylorville from this storm. And a southeastern motion is going to carry it probably closer to Pana and the Illinois 29 corridor than it will more Taylorville to the north and east. But with that polygon, if you live inside this warning, we encourage you to seek shelter and take immediate action to do so because of the potential threat of a developing tornado here at this point. And so that is something that we are watching really closely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a sky cam up here and try and steer around with it. And if we want to bring me back full screen here, we'll come back and check in with Seth in a little bit, see if they've got anything. The sky cam in Springfield, first off, going to give us a view on the back side of the storm. We've got a little bit of industrial clutter in the way here, but that's okay. This is a healthy supercell thunderstorm that's showing up there. And I'll bring that banner down for you. This is the updraft of the storm here. We're looking at the Springfield Power Station at the the southeast side. And this is about 15 miles to pass to the east and southeast of that. If there was a tornado, again, out of Sangamon County, but this is one way we can view it. You can see that nice updraft and that overshooting top, a good classic supercell thunderstorm. We were showing you that during the 6 o'clock news. Now I'm going to switch over to my Decatur camera and start to pinpoint that more to the south and west and see if we can get some eyes on it for this tornado warned storm. A slow moving storm, only moving at 15 miles an hour, but still it is moving at a speed where, you know, we're going to probably not see a whole lot of motion, but eventually that speed should pick up and start to carry it more to the south and east as it moves out of Christian County. That's the view there. This is more to the west and southwest. Again, it's maybe a little hard to see in the sunlight here. If we could we bring Max 2 full? That might help our viewers see that image a little better. If you look at the right side of that screen there, you can see the top of that thunderstorm here, the updraft and the overshooting top. This is a good supercell thunderstorm that certainly has some rotation with it, which is why this tornado warning has been issued until 8:15. The environment today is not overly conducive for a major severe weather event. We don't even have a weather watch out at this time. We just have one warning. That is a tornado warning for Christian County until 8:15. That storm moving south and east at 15 miles an hour. A lot of folks right now in the clear here. Not a concern for a lot of other areas out there, but we're going to watch. We're here right now at this moment for our Christian County friends, and we will soon be probably looking downstream, thinking about Shelby County, maybe towards Fayette and Effingham counties potentially in the future, as well as we are continuing to monitor things with this storm as it's moving on through. Remember, if you want to watch our coverage, you can here. We will watch our coverage on the WCIA 3 weather app, the WCIA 3 news app. We are also streaming to our platforms on digital media, so that'd be to YouTube, some X, as well as Facebook, any of our accounts that are there with this storm that is moving off to the south and east from the Taylorville area. Slow mover, but the initial storm there showing that sign of rotation with it as it moves to the south and east. All right, let's go ahead and bring us back full. All three cameras, if you want, the triple box there. It's always good to get a view of the eyes and the road here. Right now, it looks like Seth is actually heading south in 57, and I'd like to know in the back, just let me know in my ear if we're able to talk to him. If we're not yet, that's okay, but we'll try and chat with him soon. A lot of folks at home today were saying, hey, you're starting to feel that heat and humidity out there, starting to feel the instability bubble up as we cleared that sky, and that certainly is the case for what has happened here with this tornado warning in Christian County. Haven't gotten any word in the back if we're able to, so that's okay, but we'll see if we can't at some point here in the next little bit. I'm going to switch over from our base reflectivity to our velocity product. What this is, our velocity product, is essentially looking at how the storm is moving. Your base reflectivity, when you've got your app on your phone, you're looking at the reflectivity there. You're looking at just how hard is it raining. This is showing us how things are moving. At the surface, there's not as much showing up here in the Taylorville area. Where we're seeing the strongest is actually a little bit higher up. And as I get to some data, I'm going to lift that radar beam up so we can, yeah, I can hear you in the back. Are we able to go to him in a minute? Okay, we will go to him in a little bit here. So I hear you guys in the back. We'll get to you in just a second here. First, I want to bring the elevation up on this, and you'll see where that rotation starts to pick up a little bit. Now it's going to be about 3 miles south of Taylorville. Probably a really good view of this storm. This is where we're seeing that area of rotation at the mid-levels of the storm, several thousand feet up. But oftentimes, the first signs of a developing tornado is that rotation that's going to be at the mid-levels. And so that is something that we certainly will be watching here. Very much what we call a low precipitation supercell thunderstorm. It doesn't have the most impressive look on reflectivity. This tells us how heavy it's raining or if there's hail or things of that. But the velocity is maybe what tells the story a little bit better. And the shape of the storm, too, really standing out. We were chatting about it earlier behind the scenes and saying, hey, this kind of has a little bit of maybe a kidney bean shape or a little bit of a hook shape in there, and that's something that we will watch with this storm in Christian County. About 4 or 5 miles west of Taylorville, moving to the south and east. We're going to keep you in sheltered Taylorville. At this point, though, Kincaid, Tovey. I'm going to give you an all clear for the 104 highway from Kincaid Tovey to the west, including the Sandcrest Lake Power Station, Sandcrest Lake State Park. You're all good. Might have been some folks camping out there who got some of those weather alerts, weather information, and started to tune in. And so we're here for our friends in Christian County. Do you want to just check storms downstream? A similar shape appearing in that storm to the south and east of Morrisonville. That's going to be closer to the Christian-Montgomery County line. No warning on that storm, but we'll watch that as it moves towards Nokomis over the next 30 minutes. And then even further down, keeping an eye on that storm in the Hillsborough area as one that we perhaps will continue to monitor with this tornado warning in the Christian County area as it moves on to the south and east. Slow moving, but about 15 miles an hour. All right, let's go ahead and bring me back here. I'm going to talk to Seth in a bit here. And so it looks like he's set up. It looks like he's turned back to the west now. There you are, Seth. We can hear you now. You're a little far away, but I think you're able to make out some of that structure of the storm, aren't you?
Yes, Jacob, we absolutely are. We just turned west there. I think the goal at the moment is to head closer to like the Windsor area, just somewhere there in central Shelby County. So, yeah, at the moment we're a little out of place, but we can see that storm in the distance. We've got a pretty good look at it. You can even see the top of it there, the sun kind of bouncing off through it. So that is the storm that we are definitely tracking here right now, the tornado warned one, and that's kind of the general direction that we are heading. Going to try to get in front of it southward a little bit and kind of see what we can see as it gets there. And we might beat this thing pretty good, Jacob, because like you said, it is not moving all that fast. We kind of keep an eye on it out our window here, and it is not a very quick mover. And as you mentioned, not the best environment for kind of these tornado supporting cells, but we are definitely seeing that right now, and there's no reason to believe it can't kind of maybe hold its own as we get a little deeper here into the evening for the next couple hours. So that's the storm that you are tracking right now. We can see it from the storm tracker as we are heading west here on the Mattoon-Charleston Industrial Parkway. So we are on our way towards Shelby County. That's what we're seeing right now. Jacob, back over to you.
Hey, thanks so much for that report, Seth. If you're familiar with where he is, it's the exit to the north of Mattoon-Charleston on 57. You head to the west there. You can take that highway all the way to the west across Lake Shelbyville, take it through Findlay. Eventually, you end up through the Assumption area, and then you stumble into Taylorville on that road. And so he's going to probably be heading west towards Findlay and drop south then towards Shelbyville and maybe a little bit more as that storm slow moving to the south and east, but still something that we are watching. With a slow-moving storm like this does buy us lots of time for where it's heading with this tornado warning. At this point, no confirmed tornado down on the ground, but with strong rotation aloft, the environment that we're in, a little wonky, I guess you could say. There is some shear there. Storms are moving at the right angle. We can see that potentially in the next few hours pick up a little bit as it moves on in the southeastward direction. And so that's something that we will continue to watch. So with that, I'm going to reset and I'm going to look at the entire viewing area here. On the top right of your screen, you're watching the Storm Tracker live with us here. Love getting those field shots in our Storm Tracker and being able to see what's going on out there. On the bottom one, we've got our camera in Springfield that's looking off to the east, and we may use that camera to check a little bit more on some other storms that are starting to develop. But I do want to talk area-wide. Some of us probably saying, hey, I got nothing near me. Don't know what's going on. What are we expecting from that? So we'll start from north to south. How about we do that here? First off, Iroquois County do have a couple of thunder showers that have developed there. One of them from Sheldon, another one there just south of Watseka, and one near the Cessna Park area. National Weather Service in Chicago has talked about a weak boundary in here. There may be some potential for some brief funnel clouds, but nothing that seems dangerous or imminent as far as tornado potential goes. Those might lean more towards your cold air funnel type of situations. So we'll watch those, keep an eye on it. But if you see something up there, let us know. We're live. You can actually join in and chat with us on Facebook here as these storms are moving on through. Then, as we go to the south and east a little bit here, down towards the Newton area, the Paris area, we do have a couple of showers that have popped up. Nothing of concern there. This right now, main concern is for Christian County, where we have that one tornado warning just outside of Kincaid and Tovey, moving to the south and east towards the area south of Taylorville. Be probably heading more towards Pana at this point. We're going to keep Taylorville in shelter for probably another 10 minutes or so, but this storm is going to have a lot of visibility, and there's a lot of spotters, including our own Seth, who's out there, and so we will watch that. Did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued. You saw that pop up on the screen here, this yellow box. That's for Montgomery and Fayette County, and you see the red line around it there. That red line indicates that they have what's called a tornado possible tag with that storm. for this storm here to the east of Hillsborough as well as over the Nokomis area, some rotation being indicated. It's weak. It's not rooted to the surface, but it is there. So they'll issue a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. You can think of it as a step below a warning for a tornado. You keep an eye on it. You watch it. You monitor it. If the rotation picks up, then they might increase that threshold and bring that up to a tornado warning. But at this point, it is not. It is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And when I'll bring you in a little bit closer on that. You'll see what I mean here. This storm likely has some 60-mile-per-hour winds, some quarter-size hail, a tornado possible northeastern Montgomery County, far northwestern Fayette County. But that's not the most immediate and pressing concern at this point. This storm in Christian County is the one that we're watching. Tornado warning till 8:15. A radar indicating some rotation now. That's going to be just to the south and west of Taylorville. You just saw that box get updated, so we can issue some more all clears here. I feel confident enough for Taylorville proper, if you live in the city limits of Taylorville, to give you the all clear from downtown to the north. If you're on the south side towards the golf course, if you're over towards Taylorville Lake, maybe you're kind of on that line to watch here. You can see the polygon actually divides the town in half, so we'll probably say Illinois 29 north in the Taylorville city limits is okay. South of Taylorville, the south side there for the airport sits here. Still going to want to watch as that warning is still in effect. You can see that hook, though, showing up now to the south and east, south and west of town, I should say. That's going to be about 2 miles to the southwest of Taylorville proper there, where that rotation really increasing. This is going to be Illinois 29 between Taylorville and Pana. It's going to include Illinois 16 from Pana to Ullman. Going to include Illinois 48 from Morrisonville to Taylorville. All clear Morrison. I'm confident Morrisonville. This will be to your north and east. Now that area of rotation is crossing right over Illinois 48, and that's going to be very much about 2-3 miles to the south and west of Taylorville as we continue to watch this storm in Christian County. Just want to get my bearings real quick on some information that just came in and see if I can confirm that. Let's see, that's going to be near the Clarksdale area. This will be heading to the south and east. There's a wedding venue that's out here. I think it's White Wolf. It's heading in that direction. Johnson Township, Keller's Corner, places like that where that rotation is heading, even towards the Vanderbilt area. The lake itself, Taylorville Lake, kind of a big lake there. So if you're in Taylorville Lake, you are still in the warning and should be seeking shelter. Taylorville city limits proper is all clear. I know Hewitttsville also, after 2018, Hewitttsville got hit by that EF3 tornado, very devastating tornado in Christian County. Hewitttsville, I'm going to give you, at this point, I will say all clear for Hewitttsville proper. Anyone south there of the Hewitttsville curve, south of the airport, though, in Christian County, still needs to shelter as this storm is moving to the south and east. It'll be crossing the South Fork of the Sangamon River before long as it moves in that southeast direction. So we're going to be watching for Vanderbilt. Taylorville Lake sits here. There's the golf course in there. Illinois 29 down towards Pana sits there as this storm slowly moving to the south and to the east. Just checking some new information real quick here. Lots of information now starting to come in from our partners and our sources here. The National Weather Service continuing to monitor things as well. And let's see here. Not seeing anything new, but we do have some spotters that are in that area a little closer. They're saying there's a wall cloud with some lowerings, and so we'll see if we can't get some more information from that. But we have not had at this point yet a report of a tornado on the ground. If there is something, I know our newsroom is aware of what's going on. They're going to be checking in with our Christian County friends, authorities there to make sure that nothing else deviates. But there are a lot of spotters in that area, so if something is down, we'll likely hear about it pretty quickly here in the Christian County area. If we can, I'd like to go back into Seth a little. He's got a really nice view there in that top right box there. And so I'd like to check in with Seth and kind of get an update on his location. It looks like he's northwest of Mattoon to me. Going to be crossing, let's see, he'll be crossing. He's going to be crossing State Route 121 now, coming up there at the stop sign with the railroad crossing. Been stopped by train there a number of times in the storm tracker. So sounds like we have Seth there. Seth, you're going to keep working your way to the west here. Looks like most of the storms are still a little bit of a distance away from you, but with the storms the way they are, we'll be able to see them from a long distance, won't we?
Yep, you're exactly right, Jacob. We should be able to have a pretty good view on this thing. kind of in between us and it right now. But yeah, we just crossed over 121. You got it absolutely right where we were. And we're going to continue west for a little bit till we get deeper into Shelby County, then probably drop south. We can kind of catch the storm structure a little bit on what's going on here. Obviously, we don't have the kind of important stuff, but you can just kind of see it from a distance as we're kind of trying our best to close in on it. But mentioned that there may be starting to see a little bit of stuff going on there. Radar signature still looks pretty good. So we are kind of making our way out that direction, trying to get our west distance traveled first before we drop south, because we know we've got a little bit of time to catch up on it once we start heading south. And kind of a neat little view here with even the sun kind of setting in the distance. It's kind of a weird overlap to see both the storm and the sun all in one shot there. But that's kind of just goes to show you there is a nice little view of this thing even from quite the distance away. So we've still got some ground to make up, but we are doing it here about as quickly as we can. And that is the storm that we are tracking there in the distance with the sun in the background. And we are probably a good, I would say, maybe 15 or so minutes away from probably being in the ideal spot. So we will be there before too long. But for now, Jacob, we'll send it back to you, keeping track of the storm as it continues on.
Hey, Seth, I want to ask you a question real quick. I know you guys stopped earlier in Tuscola. Sure. You got some gas and you got to stand outside. Did the air feel more humid, or could you feel that instability compared to where we were this morning after those morning round of storms rolled on through?
Yes, definitely could. Not only when we stepped out earlier, but even just compared from when we were at the station, the news station that is, to that Tuscola gas station, we definitely noticed the air feeling a lot more heavy, a lot more thick there. Big difference from earlier this morning. You can tell that the atmosphere certainly has recovered, and that's exactly why we're getting storms to kind of go up in this environment. Definitely very warm, very muggy, especially compared to what we've had the last few days where temps haven't been quite so bad. It is a much different story here today, Jacob.
Thanks for that report there, Seth. We'll be checking back in probably about 10 minutes or so and see how your progress is here. I do want to say a couple of things are starting to stick out to me. We're about to have news check in with us in a minute. They've made some calls and gotten some information. So we've got a cluster of storms here that's causing problems south of the Springfield area, south of Taylorville. This tornado warning storm now is just south of Taylorville by not more than a couple of miles. Still have these storms here. I'm seeing a couple of things that stick out to me. One, this storm just northeast of Hillsborough. See that shape there? I think the rotation perhaps increasing a little bit more on our Hillsborough storm there, and even further to the north and east up Illinois 16. These will be carrying to the south and east. We'll see if that can organize much, but I also I'm really getting a little more interested in this storm here in the Farmersville area. It doesn't look like much at this point, but you can see here when I look at the velocity, I think the storm itself, because it's what's called a low precipitation supercell, radar doesn't pick up on everything very clearly as if it was a classic squall line or a classic supercell. But there is maybe some evidence of some sort of rotation, low-level rotation in the Farmersville area. So we'll keep an eye on that. No warning there. And look at that. Actually, as soon as I talk about it, it goes away. So you know, there. We'll keep an eye, but we're dealing with situations like that as it moves on through. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is coming out for parts of central Illinois and western Indiana. I'll get you the graphic on that in a minute. I do want to real quick before we get Brandon in here with an update. There's our new radar scan showing the tornadic rotation. Now, here's Taylorville. There's Hewitt'sville. The airport sits here. It's going to be about 2 miles to the south and east of there. This will be moving right over the southern half of the Taylorville Lake area towards the golf course. Sits out here, Vanderbilt sits here, and you can see that hook shape that's showing up. That's our area of rotation right there, has crossed Illinois 48. If you live north and west of Illinois 48 in Christian County, all clear. If you're south and east of Illinois 48, that is something where we want to keep an eye on you for that. All right, Brandon's here. I don't have anyone to operate cameras, but you can kind of step in the shot real quick. I know you just made some calls down to Christian County. Tell us more what you've heard.
So talked to Jeff Stoner, the director of the EMA over there in Christian County, and he tells me that he's seen a lot of broad rotation with this storm specifically. A lot of spotters calling in, broad rotation. Nothing on the ground as of right now, at least from his spotters, but he says that they are monitoring that very, very closely. And
I'm sure the sirens have probably been going off in parts of Christian County as well.
Yes.
Did he say anything about that?
He did not go into detail on that, but he said they were hit pretty hard, pretty quick, and they're a little busy. But
yeah, 1 minute there was no warning, and next minute we had a tornado warning like this. We got on air. They're suddenly activating their spotters, and we're keeping an eye on things. So if you get any more information, please let us know, and we'll be looking to hear from reports. If anything does come down, we're going to let news know. A team effort here, so thanks so much for your report.
No problem.
I'm going to jump back in here and talk a little bit more about something. First off, some of you may be saying, hey, you know, I didn't get the warning where I was. Well, first off, not a whole lot of warnings elsewhere. We're just dealing with Christian, Montgomery, and Fayette County at this point. But this is a great scenario where if you are interested in something, if you've ever heard of Weather Call is a great resource where we can actually call you when a tornado warning is issued. And that's what can happen. That's what happened as soon as the warning was issued in Christian County. You saw that tornado warning go out. Folks who have Weather Call got the call as soon as that warning came out, saying, Kevin Leidy called you and said, there's a tornado warning for your location, and so it will call those phones that are in that. It is based on a home address, so if your home address is something that you want to utilize for that, this is a great service to use that. You got your phone, I'll leave this up for a minute. You can scan this QR code and sign up for that service there, or go to our website, WCIA.com, the weather drop-down menu. You'll see Weather Call, sign up for Weather Call, and there we think it's a great service to offer. It's different than the mobile app. The mobile app will follow you, but you may want a way to get weather alerts at the middle of the night. Perhaps someone in your family is not tech savvy, or they don't want to use a cell phone. They like the good old-fashioned landline. A phone call is something that might wake them up. This is a product that might be for you or for someone in your family. Just another way. We do have a small fee for it just to keep the maintenance going. It's $12 a year. You can get a cup of coffee with all the fancy stuff in there sometimes, and it turns out to be $12. Ask my wife that. So Weather Call, a service that could be for you, and we encourage you to think about that as a potential part of your way to get reliable severe weather alerts. We are on TV now, on the radio. If you're driving, you'll sometimes hear that. Weather Call can be a service. Your wireless emergency alerts will go off for tornado warnings, extreme severe thunderstorm warnings, things of that. NOAA Weather Radio, that's another good one. The app you can download and allow the app to follow your location when a warning is issued. It'll give you that information. You may hear sirens sometimes you may not. Some counties have different criteria. Some cities have different criteria. There's no uniform, steadfast rule. My advice is if you hear a siren, you hear that should just tell you get more information. Folks in Christian County, tuning in now to Channel 3 to get more information on this tornado warning storm that is moving on through. I'm going to go back to the radar real quick and to give you an update. Storm hasn't moved all that much, moving to the south and east at a whopping 15 miles an hour. That's it. A slow-moving storm, but there's enough instability, there's enough lift and rotation in the atmosphere where we are seeing rotation with the storm. Spotters in the ground, noting there's a wall cloud. There's been reports of some rotation as well at the surface, and so that's something where we are getting those reports but have not had any ground confirmation of a tornado. A tornado warning means a tornado is either happening or likely, and that's where we're at right now. We think it's more likely at this point, which is something that we'll continue to watch. That rotation now due south of Taylorville. City of Taylorville is okay, but it's going to be probably by now with the next radar update showing up somewhere in this area. There's my parent thunderstorm, and this hook here is where that, there's the update right there, perfect, about where we thought that hook kind of showing where that area of rotation is going to be as it continues to move south and east. We are clear in Morrisonville. We've been clear in Taylorville. We've been clear in areas to the north and west of Taylorville, and keeping information there all good. So with that, that's our only warning, but we are seeing a few more storms develop. Just trying to get some more information on those really quickly. And let's see if I got any photo reports coming in here. We are seeing so far nothing of imminent concern from that, but we're going to watch that storm there in the Christian County area. Let me show you some of these other cells that are developing. You see that similar shape now? Sangamon County. Going to talk to Sangamon County, Northern Christian County, Western Macon County. That similar shape early on in appearance here of that slight hook shape showing up. That'll be near Buffalo. I don't think it's going to be an imminent tornado threat, but that's something moving to the southeast. We might watch out for Mount Auburn, Northern Christian County. That'll cross 72 southwest of Illiopolis and move in that general direction. And another little storm there by Waverly. Doesn't look like anything substantial out of that. And keeping an eye on some storms as well towards the Montgomery, Macoupin County areas. This is south of Carlinville. This is way on the edge of the area, almost to St. Louis. Maybe some signs of some rotation based on the reflectivity. The reflectivities, the way it's showing and presenting itself is something that we are watching. All right, finally, real quick, getting the updates on the severe thunderstorm watch. And let me show you who's in and who's out on that. If you have the weather app, you probably got that notification in these counties I'm about to show you. If you have weather call, we didn't call you for the watch, but we will send you a text and we will send you as well a email. Those are other parts of weather call that you can get. The most pressing concerns will call you with that, but this is just for a text and an email, a notification on the app. Severe thunderstorm watch now in effect, and that's going to go until 3 a.m. I don't think it's going to last that long in our area, but this watch technically goes till 3 a.m. Going to include Champaign, Danville, Monticello, Decatur, Taylorville, Shelbyville, Tuscola, Mattoon, Charleston, Sullivan, Paris. It's going to include Clark County, Toledo, Greenup, Effingham. Going to include Vandalia and further to the south and east into Indianapolis, further south into southern Indiana with these storms that are developing. And so that is something that we are continuing to monitor, continuing to watch here as we move on through. Now, as I show you the forecasted risk area here, we're not really in the best environment at this point, but we are in an environment. The best tornado risk really is just ahead of this storm as it carries to the south and east. Storms kind of form here and move south and east, and that's what we're dealing with. So we may deal with these storms for a little while longer here this evening. Shelby County, Effingham County, Cumberland County, ahead of the path of those storms, but still the risk is technically there area-wide for us as we have this watch that has just been issued in place. I'm going to talk about if you're under a tornado warning, what do you do during that? If you're in a tornado warning, you got to take action. Warning is urgent. Watch means heads up. If your kid gets in trouble at school, the teacher says, hey, watch out. He's not in trouble yet. Teacher's not calling you at home quite yet for that. He gets a warning. Maybe it's a different story. Same thing for the weather. A watch, severe thunderstorm watch, means we're watching for the potential for severe weather. We got a tornado warning, though, in Christian County for another 17 minutes. If you're under a tornado warning, you want to proceed to a safe place. Leave your mobile homes. No mobile homes, no manufactured homes. Those are places that are not safe during tornadic thunderstorms. Even if you're driving, no driving in a tornado warning, find the nearest convenience store, the nearest rest stop, the nearest gas station. You can seek shelter inside there. If it's a McDonald's, by all means, you got kids in the backseat. That's a place you can go during a tornado warning to seek sturdier shelter. A car, not a great place to be. We see oftentimes cars are tossed like tin cans in tornadoes, and so you want to be out of your car. 3 words. I teach these 3 words in schools. If you've got a school who's had a visit from me, kids learn in, down, and up. We get inside, down as low as we can, whether that's a basement, a crawl space, down into a bathtub to seek shelter, and we cover up. We're putting pillows, blankets, mattress overhead, and protecting ourselves from that. And we'll give you an all clear here. We've been walking through all clear through Christian County with that warning. Probably in the next 10 minutes, we'll be able to give some more all clears, but then we will get some more information, and you can watch those coverage on our digital platforms. If we can, it's been about 10 minutes. I'd like to bring the triple box, and I'm going to go to Seth because you can see the outline of the storm. And then I've got a few photos coming in that I want to show you as well after we talk to Seth. He's out there now working his way to the west. He's probably by now getting ready to cross Lake Shelbyville. In fact, he is crossing Lake Shelbyville. How about that? So if Seth is there, Seth, you're able to see the updraft of that storm there ahead of you and just to your left. I am watching another storm developing a little further to the north that we'll keep an eye on, but talk to us a little bit more about what you've been seeing, Seth.
Thank you, Jacob. I lost you there at the very tail end, so I hope you guys can still hear me. But yeah, just looking off to this, we're almost facing due west. Kind of got the camera angle just a little south. That is the kind of the base of the storm that we can see all the way out there still in southeastern Christian County. Pretty soon, we're about to make it to Findlay here, and then we're going to cut things south and see where we can go from there. Unfortunately, from a kind of spotter perspective, all the rain is kind of out ahead of the kind of the rotation here, out in front of the area of interest. So it's going to be just a tad difficult maybe to get an exact view of where exactly the rotation is going to be on this storm at some point, but it's just kind of hard to tell what's going to go on with that storm to the south of it, if they're going to merge or what's going to kind of go down with that. But we've still got a pretty good view out here in the distance of it, just off on the left side of the screen as we are about to get into Findlay here. And as we kind of just looked at earlier, this storm's still going really slow, just 15 miles an hour. So we have caught up to this thing here awfully quick. It is not outrunning us one bit here. So we'll just kind of see how how these storms interact, if they do at all. I think the one just south of it's just moving a tick quicker to the southeast, so it'll be kind of just interesting to see if there's any kind of interaction here and how they kind of evolve from that point out. But we are just about to get into Findlay, just about a mile east of town here, and then we're going to cut things south, probably head into the Shelbyville area and kind of go from there. We've got plenty of time to catch up to this thing, but obviously it's still causing a few problems down there as that rotation is soon to maybe kind of move to the west of Pana before too terribly long. So that is the storm that we continue to watch here as we get deeper into the evening. We are just a mile east of Findlay, about to cut south from the storm tracker. Jacob, back to you.
Hey, thanks so much there, Seth. That storm is just really incredible to see here. And at some point, the sun's going down. We're probably about 15, 20 minutes from the sun going down. I think the lightning is going to be something that we will be spoiled rotten with here before long. Still have our tornado warning in Christian County now. That rotation is here. If we can, I'd like to bring me full screen. I'm going to show you some photos that I've been getting from Christian County. This first one I've got came in, and let me get the name right here. It came in. We'll show you the photo. It's trying to load here for me. There we go. There's the photo. You might want to bring that full screen on Max 1. This came from Michael in Taylorville. He's up on that storm, sent me this photo. He's, I think, spotting in the area, and you can see how low to the ground the base is here. We've got so much humidity, so much instability, where those bases of the storms can sit really low to the ground and be pretty visible from that vantage point. And so that photo came in from Michael about 10 minutes ago from that. Really impressive looking storm. And when you've got rotation close to the ground, a lot of instability, a lot of moisture like we've got out there, sometimes that rotation can connect. And if it does, we'll likely hear about it before long. Another one, this came from Tyler Abbott. Tyler is a good friend. Look at the view of that storm there. That's the rotating wall cloud. When we talk about it being a low precipitation storm, this is what we're talking about. There really isn't much rain. There really isn't much hail with this storm. It's an updraft and some light rain, some hail that shows up maybe on the back side here. Here's on the south side looking to the north. And you can see that rotation almost even without having it be a video. There's that wall cloud right here. The updraft of the storm carries in that direction, looking to the north there, and you're seeing some wind kind of wrap around here, and that's helping to get this wall cloud closer to the ground. That's impressive. If there's a tornado from this, Tyler is going to see it. Some of the folks that are there. And that updraft continues up. When we were looking at the storm tracker and Seth's shot, and we can bring it back to the 3 shot so you can see where he's looking at. He's coming in from the west, so his view is of this part up here as he's looking off to the west there, moving in that general direction. And so a lot of great imagery coming in from this storm as it continues to work its way off to the east. Again, have not had a report of a tornado yet, but we are going to continue that tornado warning until 8:15. The National Weather Service still keeping it in effect. That rotation's going to be closing into the Owanaco area north of Nokomis, and speed has increased a little bit, now moving 20 miles an hour. It's not much faster, but I think as we go through with time, we will see the speed on these storms pick up a little bit more, and so that's something that we'll watch. At this point here, we've been here for about a half an hour now on this tornado-warned storm. It has traveled from Kincaid to the south and east here, closing in the Ullman area. Owanaco sits down here. There's Pana. It's not moved much at all. In fact, I'll measure it out to give you an idea. In about a half an hour, it's moved 15 miles. Slow-moving storm. That's a rough estimate there, but gives you an idea of how much it is. We're all clear Taylorville. We're all clear for the Illinois 48 corridor on both sides. We're going to hold for the lake. If we could hold for Taylorville Lake for a little bit, that's a long lake. The northern part of the lake is okay, but the southern part is still kind of close here with that coming through. And so we don't want to say all clear for the entire lake, but I think the northern part of the lake, we'll say for the golf course north, it's going to be all clear. If you hit the golf course to the south, and that's where that tornado warning is. It's going to be just north of the Greenwood Township building to me, based on what I'm looking at here, as it carries towards Ullman, the Rosamond area, Nokomis, Pana, Oconee, places like that, where we'll be watching next with that. We just got a new tornado warning. We talked about this earlier. New tornado warning now in place for Sangamon, Macon, and Christian counties. This is that storm we mentioned up by Buffalo area. Make sure you're hearing that, Brandon. He's in here kind of watching. So now we're going to include Macon, Sangamon, and Christian counties here for this new tornado warning. That's an area of rotation near Buffalo. This thing looks like nothing impressive, but it is a rotating low precipitation supercell. You're not going to see a whole lot with it from radar perspective, but the rotation really evident in the mid-levels with this storm. And we're seeing with the dew point values being so high, while maybe the rotation at this point not close to the ground, it's moving in that direction, and that's why we've issued this new tornado warning. So now 2 tornado warnings on the board here. Sangamon, Christian, Montgomery counties. This will include southwest side of Decatur. They include Stonington. It'll include Mount Auburn, Illiopolis, Buffalo. We were naming off these towns 15 minutes ago. Said, hey, you might want to watch out. There could be a tornado warning coming your way, and that is in fact what we've just had here with this new tornado warning. It's going to go until 8:45. That sets the bar back. How long we'll be on here for you? Now we're looking at 8:45 as our new time for the tornado warning to go through until that point. But we don't know if we'll be done at 8:45. I suspect we won't be, based on the way things are trending here. I mean, on a normal Tuesday, that'd look like nothing, but it is a rotating supercell thunderstorm. There's a pretty pronounced hook here, and with the environment, it's performing really well in this type of situation, even from a lightning perspective. 1 bolt, that's it. But there's enough wind shear in the atmosphere. We're really taking advantage of things to talk about what's going on. Let's talk real quick and say more specifically about who's in, who's out. Buffalo, Illiopolis, this is right in the middle of you two, and it'll be heading towards Mount Auburn pretty quickly here. The speed on it, just to make sure I've got that southeast at 20 miles an hour. So we're going to be watching the Mount Auburn area. It's going to be pretty much Lanesville. Lanesville sits right about here, right over the community of Lanesville, crossing 72 between Illiopolis and the Buffalo exit, Buffalo Mechanicsburg, and the Illiopolis exit. It'll be carrying it to the south end, going to cross the Sangamon River, and it'll carry it very close to Mount Auburn. After that, then, it'll carry it into parts of Macon County as well. We're going to have Illinois 48, I should say, from the US 51. Right here, there's the US 51 bypass around the southwest side of Decatur. From US 51 bypass, southwest side of Decatur, down through Stonington and the north side of Taylorville. Now, under that tornado warning, it's going to be the Willys area. Not much there, but Willys sits there on 48 north of Taylorville. All clear Taylorville. But Willys, Stonington, Blue Mound, Booty, that's where that storm is in the warning and heading in that general direction. Later on, we might start thinking about Macon, Moweaqua, and Assumption into Shelby County with this particular storm as it's moving to the south and east. Now tornado warning in effect. This does not include Springfield. This does not include Decatur proper. It is going to technically include the southeast side there along the US 51 bypass from 72 south, but barely grazing that for a cutoff there. We'll just say US 51's south of there towards Booty, you're in. Decatur, you are not in. And so that's what we'll continue to watch. I noticed Seth turned his camera a little bit, and I want to play with the sky cams a little bit on the bottom right there because I have the Decatur camera up looking at the storm more to the south. So let me do a little panning and tilting here and to get my bearings on what I'm looking at. So you'll see that storm move on through. So let's see. This is going to be downtown. That's looking more to the north, so you'll see that camera there on the bottom right probably move here in a minute. We're going to turn it back to the west. We've been actually looking at that northern cell there. That's the northern storm. See how little it looks on radar? It'll fix itself in a second here. It doesn't look like much in radar, but when you look at the storm itself, a very high updraft, some rotation aloft in that, and that has been proven to carry it closer to the ground, and so that's why we are dealing with this situation. All right, we just got an update. The tornado warning has been extended now for our southern storm coming through Pana. This is going to include Shelby County. Does not include the city of Shelbyville. It is going to include Cowden, Herrick, Oconee, Pana, and move to the south and east there. That rotation due west of Pana now. There's Morrisonville. Here's Taylorville. You've got the township buildings. Johnson Township sits here. There's Pana. The hook echo of the storm is going to carry it in that direction. What you're seeing here, you see there's no box right there. We're actually on the county lines with Christian County, Shelby County, and Montgomery County. Montgomery County is actually operated by the National Weather Service in St. Louis. Christian and Shelby County are operated by the National Weather Service in Lincoln. And so that is what we're dealing with. You kind of see that cutoff there. We may see that warning fill in for the northeastern edge of the county there. We'll see if that ends up happening. But if you live east of Nokomis there, I would encourage you to seek shelter along Illinois 16, the Audubon area, over towards Oconee. Fairly rural area, but still something that we will be watching with that. So kind of zooming out now, got a little corridor of storms here. Between Springfield and Decatur, we've got Christian County to Shelby County, and then we do have Fayette County severe thunderstorm warnings in place now for the western half of the county, including Vandalia for those storms that are moving to the south and east. And I don't have anything else to look at across the area, just those two tornado warned storms that we're dealing with at this point. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect, and I'm sure someone at home now is saying, well, why is it a severe thunderstorm watch as opposed to a tornado watch? A severe thunderstorm is defined by the National Weather Service as 58-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail or larger, or a tornado. That's a severe thunderstorm. And so that is something that we do take into consideration. Generally, with a tornado watch, we need multiple long-lasting potential tornadic-producing storms. I don't think we have that at this point, but there certainly is a higher tornado potential that is evolving just locally between Springfield and Effingham in our area. And so that is something that we are continuing to watch. That severe thunderstorm watch for counties in pink. You have your WCIA 3 weather app. You got the notification of that earlier about what was going on with that. So I'm going to talk real quick tornado safety for you. A little reminder here. Looks like Seth's kind of in some rural areas, so his speed's coming in and out a little bit. So we can just bring me back full screen here. If you're in a tornado warning, the worst place to be is a car, a mobile home. And if you've watched the new Twisters movie, not under a highway overpass. That's something that some folks, I haven't seen it yet. We deal with it enough here. I don't need to go watch it, but I'll watch it at some point. But folks, we're learning, hey, underpass, not a place to be in a tornado. That is exactly right. You do not want to find yourself under a highway overpass. That's particularly going to be I-72 between Buffalo and Illiopolis that we're watching. You have overpasses, underpasses on interstates. So avoid those areas. Also, large open rooms or near an outside wall, manufactured housing, not great. This is not a great time to go to the big box mart, the grocery store with the high span ceiling, for a gymnasium. Big rooms like that, you just knock over one of the walls, the ceiling could come down on that if a tornado were to touch down, even in strong winds. Those are bad places to be. Great place to be, interior room or a basement of a well-built, site-built structure. You got a home in the basement, great. If you don't have one, you still have options. Bathtub is a place that you can go. The pipes can actually help to hold you down a little bit more if your house gets hit. So we always tell people, hey, you don't have a basement, go to the bathroom, jump in the bathtub, make a pillow fort. That's a place that you can go. And getting down low, a crawl space often works as well. Interior closet, a place to go. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside of your home or wherever you may be. And then, of course, if you have a tornado shelter or a safe room, a designated place, those also are places that you can go for that. Let's talk real quick downstream. This is going to be for the US 51 corridor between Decatur to the south there towards Macon, Moweaqua, and Assumption ahead of that. This also is going to be heading towards northeastern Fayette, perhaps Effingham County. Maybe we see these warnings extended. I also think that we'll be dealing with some other spots before long here. If you're 30 to 45 minutes ahead of the storms, with slow-moving storms at this point, 20 miles an hour, it's not all that far here, but if you're downstream from where those tornado warnings are being issued, if you're in a mobile home, you've got time to leave that, seek some shelter. Make sure your phone is charged. Remember, we stream. We're streaming right now on our app. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube, all different places that you can go for that. And then arrange your safe place, get it ready, get some flashlights, dust off the cobwebs, make sure all the toilet paper's out of the way, things of that. And then check your WCIA 3 weather apps as you're getting ready for potentially being in the path of a tornado-warned storm. We got 2 of those right now. And continuing to monitor things with that. So what I want to do, it looks like Seth's coming into the Findlay area, if I can tell based on where he's at. So I'd like to go back out to Seth real quick, and that'll give me a chance to reset some things. He's kind of coming in and out there a little bit. Where is he? He's coming into, he's in Shelbyville already. Okay, he must have took a turn on me. So Seth's in Shelbyville now. I guess I thought he was somewhere else, but he's moving on in. He's going to be heading back to the west there from Shelbyville towards Pana on 128. Seth, just a heads up for you, west of Shelbyville, I know from experience, we do tend to lose signal, so this might be the last time we hear from you for a little while, but go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you're seeing and what your plan is from here.
Yep, I've known from prior experiences, Jacob, the signal's not been great out here, and it's not been great getting into town. What my plan is here, what my hope is, I'm going west of Shelbyville here just for the moment. I'm going to try to see how good things hold up as we try to go in southern Shelby County, kind of looking at the Cowden area. We're kind of weighing our options here because we think we can get to the Cowden area and probably see the best view of the storm that we've seen up to this point. We've been able to see some decent definition here as we've gotten closer, but we're also kind of watching that one off to our northwest, the one kind of near Illiopolis. We're in a decent position to where we could go after either one, so we're kind of just watching as we go through town here how things are looking on this storm that we've been on from the jump. So that is what we're seeing in the distance right now. That's kind of the one that we're on our way to. Hopefully our connection is able to hold up here as we go a little bit west and then eventually south in Shelby County. So we're going to try to do our best to keep up on this first storm, the one that we've been on since the very beginning, as we can definitely see whether it be scud or some sort of a base on this one. We'll be able to see it kind of off and on here from outside the car. So we're still heading west, but we're going to turn south here in about 2 miles or so and see what we can see as we kind of head towards the Cowden area. So Jacob, that's the plan right now. We'll send things back over to you.
All right, thanks for that, Seth. We'll keep an eye on your shot, and you'll probably come and go a little bit, but you're getting close. You can kind of see more features with his storm there. We also have the Decatur camera that's pointed to the west there on the bottom right of your screen, and that's looking at the northern storms. So Seth's down here, and that Decatur camera is here, so we've got eyes and both of those tornado-warned storms in the area, and that's all we're dealing with is really this cluster of storms here. Still looking at Iroquois County, a couple of brief thunder showers up there. National Weather Service in Chicago says they're not too concerned. There may be a chance for something that's similar to a cold air funnel up there. And then we go further to the south end. We got a few thunder showers there southeast of Paris and down to the south of Clark County. They'll be heading into Indiana. This is the main area that we're watching, and about every storm that's there has got some sort of warning, tornado warning for eastern Sangamon, southwestern Macon, and northern Christian counties. Then southeastern Christian County and western Shelby County has a tornado warning. We've got severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County, and then far southern Macoupin County has also been issued under a severe thunderstorm warning from that. We are streaming on our digital platforms. You can join us on Facebook. You can join us on YouTube. You can join us. Can we bring Seth's shot full too while we've got it up? I'd like to just talk over that. I like his shot a lot there, and we might come back to him in a minute. He's looking at that. We're streaming to platforms because of this right here. This is that storm west of Shelbyville, moving to the south and to the east there. You're looking at the base of the storm. He's going to be coming up to the Sylvester Drive there. There's the plant on the west side of Shelbyville. He'll be moving up on that, kind of getting a vantage point of what we're looking at there. So, Seth, if you can, I'd like to check real quick. Are you seeing any rotation at this point?
Yeah, Jacob, from the distance we're at right now, I can't tell any obvious rapid rotation from a distance, but we're now starting to see a lot more of that structure as we've kind of exited west of town. Actually, just kind of pivoted our idea a little bit here. It looks like there might be some kind of some rain starting to catch the very southern tip of this storm. It looks like those storms are going to kind of merge together. I think the new plan might be we're just going to head towards Pana and see if we can cut south and watch this thing from the western side, because I think if we do anything else, we're going to get caught by rain if we go into southern Shelby County. So we've got a pretty good view on it at the moment, kind of looking at the rain between here and there. But I think the new plan is to kind of cross over from the north and then go south kind of behind the storm. So it's going southeast. We might end up on the northwest side of it and just kind of see what we can find on the back end of that. But yeah, that's the kind of the lowering that we're watching as we're moving west of Shelbyville here. And I think we're going to keep going west till we get to Pana and then maybe see what we can find on the back end of that. So Jacob, that's the view we've got right now, just past the Shelbyville airport a couple of seconds ago. So that's where we're at the moment. Jacob, we are going to send things back inside to you and keep an eye on this thing.
All right, thanks so much there, Seth. I do want to put in your ear a quick idea is that storm continues to the south and east, depending on what it does. Don't forget you've got that storm further to the north as well. That's by Buffalo. That's an opportunity as well. And then we've got another little cell. If it was a random day, I'd be like, oh, that's not much to it. But this has a little bit of a shape to it south of west of Morrisonville, that little hook shape there on Illinois 48. That'll be between Litchfield, Raymond, and Morrisville. And so that might be an opportunity here where we've got just enough low-level shear, and I think every updraft is tapping into that and trying to spin a little bit. So that's something that we're kind of dealing with this. Have not had any reports of tornadoes down yet. And so Seth is kind of maneuvering a little bit. We'll probably try and come back to him. I know he's heading down to cell service. He gets closer to Tower Hill there. We'll lose him. So probably not going to talk to Seth anymore for a little bit until maybe he gets some better signal. But we'll just kind of putting that bug in your ears, Seth, if you can still hear me, to keep an eye on that storm to the north as well as it moves on through. Let me show you the storm to the north. Tyler Abbott, he's up there. Great guy. He's a good friend in the Sangamon County area. Storm chaser. This is the northern storm that's there by 72 now, crossed into the south, and we'll check radar in a minute. This is what he's seeing. Look how low that is to the ground. There's some rotation there. You're looking at the wall cloud right here. The updraft of the storm, again, angled this way, slowly moving. We've got so much moisture that sometimes that moisture can really tap in and bring these cloud bases closer and closer to the ground. And once those cloud bases start to rotate, then we deal with situations like this, where we've got a tornado warning that's in place. And I think we just got a new tornado warning. I'm going to go back to that real quick and double check. I think we just got a new tornado warning for Christian County. I may be wrong here. Okay, no, that's just an update to the tornado warning there. Still for Christian County with that southern storm as well as that northern storm. I was thinking they were going to do it for that Morrisonville thing, but that is not the case. Let's talk about that northern storm. Again, it's going to be right over 72 at this point, maybe just south of it, between 72 and the Sangamon River. Buffalo, Lanesville, Illiopolis, all clear. You are all clear north of Interstate 72 in Sangamon and in Macon counties. Harristown's good. I tend to think on the path this storm is going, southwest Decatur is going to be okay, but it'll be a close call for, say, Blue Mound, Booty will keep you in. Mount Auburn, this is about 3 miles northwest of you. It's going to cross the river. Mount Auburn sits up a little bit, so I know the fire department will be out there spotting and watching the storm. They probably got a great vantage point of it. If something does turn a little more sinister with this, we see something that comes down, that may be something we have to watch. It's also going to include the Willys and Stonington areas. Downstream, we kind of draw a red line, center line here. Mount Auburn, Blue Mound, maybe Mowequa would be in that 30 to 45 minute window where we'll keep an eye on that. I do think with enough confidence this will stay south and west of the city of Decatur. This does not include the city of Springfield, has not included the city of Springfield. Then kind of the territory between there where you've got Buffalo, Lanesville, Illiopolis, Niantic sits here, Mount Auburn is there. Rural northern and northeastern Christian County along Illinois 48 there from Willys, Stonington, Blue Mound up towards Booty is where that storm has been. Then we'll drop to the southern storm again. Keep an eye on that. At this point, Pana, Illinois 16 in Christian County, all clear. Pana, Illinois 16 in Christian County, all clear. The storm has moved south of Christian County. And so we'll give the southeastern part of Christian County all clear. This is now a Shelby County issue. Going to be near Oconee on US 51. Seth's been down there before. I remember a time not too long ago when he was chasing in this area and had a really strong rotating wall cloud in an earlier event this past spring. So he's familiar with that. He's an Effingham County guy. He's from there, so he's been all over this part of the central Illinois and knows it probably like the back of his hand. That's why we've got him out there now. We'll check in with him in a little bit. He's getting maybe a little more oriented on what's going on there. But this storm now about 5 miles south of Pana as he's getting ready to come into Tower Hill. Cowden, Herrick are under the warning. Fancher is under the warning here. That's going to be north of Fancher towards Clarksburg, not under the warning. But that's kind of what we're dealing with. Shelbyville is not in the warning. Tower Hill not in the warning. Oconee, Herrick, Cowden, Fancher in that tornado warning here as we continue to watch this moving off to the south and to the east. Before long, we'll kind of go the last 30 minutes to get an idea of the motion on this here. Before long, this is going to be carrying into northeastern Fayette County. This is probably going to clear south of Effingham, to be honest. Southwestern Effingham County based on its track here, if it can maintain strength. Pretty interested, though. we are seeing some signs these storms in Fayette County are starting to cluster together more, and that's going to start to support maybe more of a wind threat starting to transition versus as we look at the tornado threat that we're dealing with now. And that wind threat may not have much time in our viewing area, but if we see these storms start to line up, then could be a bit of a wind bag for southern Illinois, Salem, Mount Vernon, places like that, down towards Carlisle, where maybe there'll be some issues with those storms growing more upscale. We, on the northern end here, just have a couple of little supercell thunderstorms that have just enough rotation where they're producing rotation and wall clouds and some concerning signatures on radar. Have not had any confirmed tornadoes yet, but that certainly is something that we're watching here with these two storms that are now, one of them right on the border of Sangamon, Christian County, just to the west of Macon County, the other now in far southwestern Shelby County. That'd be down by the thumb there, US 51 corridor south of Pana, and that should exit pretty quickly. The speed picking up a little bit as well here with these southern storms as they start to cluster more together. We'll see that more south and southeastern sweep. Let's go ahead and bring the boxes back if we can. I'm going to try and get a different camera adjusted because we've had the Decatur camera looking there. At this point, I'm going to bring the Effingham camera up in that triple box, so we will start to play around with that one a little bit more and see how it materializes. So this now, the Effingham camera looking there, a little more to the north and west. We'll turn it a little bit more to the left there, try and catch some of the storms in Fayette County, and you're able to see those with the sun setting here. I think the sun sets pretty soon. Wow, look at that. Can we bring, is there a chance we can bring the camera full real quick, actually? You can kind of see the shot there from Effingham and the underside of that cloud. If the sun can catch that, going to be some pretty impressive sunset photos here before long with these storms as they continue to move on through. So that's our Effingham camera kind of scanning the sky here and swinging it around. So that there is St. Anthony's Hospital. Our camera is located on top of there, and we'll swing that around and take a peek at things there in Effingham. And we're seeing that play out. And so you'll see there, kind of keep an eye to the sky in Effingham as we're watching there. Those storms should stay just west of Effingham. Might be more of an Altamont issue if it continues in that direction, continues to show rotation. But we've got that camera in Effingham, which is a really good resource for us to have. And so we really like to have that camera network. We wish we had a camera everywhere. Just can't quite have that, unfortunately, but we're able to really see what's going on in the sky and see what's happening here. And right now, as I turn a little bit more to the left, you kind of catch the truck stop there off in the distance. That's in the direction towards Vandalia, and a little bit more of a dark sky in that direction. That's those storms that are moving more south there down I-70, crossing south of Vandalia towards the Salem area before long. And so that's something that we'll be dealing with. Let's go ahead and bring back the triple box here. And appreciate that, giving us a chance to kind of scope the sky a little bit. So that's our Effingham camera in the bottom right. The top right is Seth in the storm tracker. He's kind of moving his way through Shelby County. I'm not sure what he's decided to do. Before long, he may need to start to move back north perhaps a little bit to see what's going on up there. And we take a look at the entire viewing area here. We just got mainly Springfield, Decatur to the south is our problem area here. I-57 corridor between Effingham all the way up to Chicago has been clear. Decatur, Champaign, Danville, Bloomington, we haven't had any problems here. Been a couple little cells in Iroquois County. Might be some brief rotation at times, but that doesn't attract my attention as having the instability in places these storms do here as they're moving to the south and east. So that's something that we'll watch. But I am noticing the wind potential picking up in these storms here. Thankfully, that's exiting our area before long, and so that means that as long as these storms are still spinning, we'll have those tornado warnings, but that wind threat probably picks up down in southern Illinois. You can even see here, off in Indiana, between Indiana, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, and Dayton, there's actually a couple of tornado warnings over there as well, so we are in some company with these storms as they move on through. Let's go ahead and bring velocity. I don't show a lot of velocity. One of the reasons is you don't really get to see as much in these scenarios. When we're dealing with supercell thunderstorms that are what we call low precipitation, there's not a whole lot to look at on radar. You talk about the reflectivity here. That's like an accidental spill in the floor. I mean, there's nothing really to it that you can see there, but we know there is rotation at the mid-levels with this, and we know that there is some rotation with the wall cloud that's been spotted with this storm now right over the Mount Auburn area is carrying to the south and to the east. So we did just get an update. Sangamon County, we kind of gave you the all clear north of I-72. We'll give the all clear now for all of Sangamon County from this storm, and so that's some good news for us here. Just checking some new information coming in. All of Sangamon County is all clear. If you live in Sangamon County, you can go about your business. There is no threat in Sangamon County at this point. No warnings are active in place. Little shower there towards the Waverly area, Girard, southwest of Auburn there. That'll carry on through, but not seeing anything concerning. Now we're dealing with far northeastern Christian County here. Mount Auburn, you got Blue Mount here. There's Booty, Stonington, Willys. That's kind of the area we're focused on. And this probably is leaning more towards Blue Mount than it is Willys and Stonington. Stonington's still in the warning. I'm sure the fire department has a good view looking north from town there at that storm. Booty, it's just to the south and west of you. Decatur, you're all clear from this storm. But we're dealing with northern Christian and far southwestern Macon County here. And that's going to be there on the Illinois 48 corridor as we continue to watch things with this moving on through. Now I'll bring my camera back up, my Skycam full screen. I'll bring it on mine here. We've kind of been scoping the sky a little bit and seeing things. There's the Effingham one. If we can bring Max 2 full, that might be a little more helpful for us here. I want to take the Decatur camera, and I'll bring that up real quick, so bear with me here as I get that set. And that is the Decatur camera. How about that? So I'm going to turn this camera a little bit more to the left, as I think we will be able to see from its vantage point a little bit more here. And then I've got a viewer photo that just came in I'll be able to show you as well. Again, we have not had any reports of tornadoes down. I like that shot that you've got there as well up on the preview screen. But we've got the Decatur camera that's showing up there. That's the camera that's in place, and I'll switch the other camera real fast back to something else. We'll put in Mattoon as it's looking to the west of there. You're looking at the storm that's showing up. Okay, there's the Mattoon one. Now I'm pressing buttons and messing things up. We'll put that on 3, and then I'll put this in 2, bring the Decatur camera back, and so that we've got 2 different things we're looking at here, hopefully. Looks like you've got Max 2 in the right and then Max 2 here. Could we put the weather metrics camera maybe in that double box? But I like what we're looking at. We're not getting as much of Seth. He's cutting in and out. He's in some rural area. There we go. So that's the Mattoon camera kind of looking off to the west towards these storms. Probably going to be some lightning that we'll be able to look at before long. You can kind of see the updraft here. That updraft of the storm showing here. There's a flash of lightning there. The rotation near the surface is down here, and that storm is carrying to the south and east. And what I'll show you real quick is the view of the backside of that storm near Mount Auburn. And I'll bring that up in my graphics here real fast. You'll get a chance to view that. That's it. Max 2, might want to bring that full to take a peek at it. Tyler's been sending me some photos. I appreciate that. Tyler's a good friend, a great guy over there in Sangamon County to know. Doesn't look like much. I mean, it just looks like a cloud. There is some rain there on the left side. He's in the backside looking towards Mount Auburn at that storm. But you can see where that updraft is. It's there. The clouds are low to the ground. That dark gray coloring is where the wall cloud is, and that is something that he's been keeping an eye on that storm for us. On the flip side, down to the south, we've got Seth in the storm tracker, and he's coming into town here. I'm not sure what town. I kind of lost track. I don't know if he's coming into Nokomis. Seth, if you can hear us, tell us where you are and what your latest your thinking is here, what you're seeing. We do not have Seth.
If you can see a sign that says
there he is. We can hear you, Seth.
Week, let me know, because that
Seth,
we want to head north.
Can you hear Seth?
But I don't know what road that is here.
Can you hear Seth? All right, so we're having a little trouble with Seth. I can hear Seth. I think you can hear Seth. I don't know if he can hear us, though.
It's hard to tell because my mic
so we'll cut Seth's mic then while he's repositioning there, and I'll send him a text. I think I saw him the sign there. He's coming back into Pana, and so he might be looking to move more to the north. I do have some good news to pass along. The tornado warning for both Shelby and southern Christian County has been canceled. We have canceled the tornado warning for southern Christian and Shelby County. That's that storm near Pana. You can actually see in the last 15 minutes or so, we're kind of noticing it didn't look as impressive compared to what it did as it was in Christian County, really starting to fall apart. probably what's happening is we're seeing that in the northern storm too, so we might be getting close to sending it back to regular programming for you. But we've noticed we lose the heating of the day. The sun starts to go down. We're not heating up the surface of the earth. You're not getting that convection to help out. And so these storms might try and fizzle that are a bit behind here. Still have, though, that tornado warning in northeastern Christian, southwestern Macon County. That's our one storm now warned. Mount Auburn, Blue Mound. The Sangamon River is here. Carries you up towards Lake Decatur. That's going to be moved to the south and east. Illinois 48 between Mount Auburn, Blue Mound, Stonington, and Booty is kind of what we're looking at here in that general area. We've got Tyler that's out there. He's been letting me know some photos and whatnot, which I really appreciate. And, of course, your reports, too. If you've got a report, I've been checking the chat, keeping an eye on things with any updates, things of that. Some folks saying there's a little bit of lightning now in the Fayette storm. Folks are just kind of checking in. So the Pana storm is no longer warned. You're all clear in Pana. Nokomis all clear. He was in Seth's down in Pana there in the top. Let's see, he's on the top right. He's probably trying to snake his way back to 51 to head north a little bit. But we've got that storm that's now near the Mount Auburn area, and that's it. You look area-wide here, the rest of us are in the clear. I've seen a lot of folks saying, well, what about Champaign? What about Effingham? What about Gibson City? If we're not talking about your spot, that's a good thing. We don't want to talk about your location on a day like this where we've got warnings. You hear your town name, that's usually a sign, the weatherman's talking about my town. That means I got to do something. I haven't said a lot about Champaign, Danville, Bloomington, Tuscola, Mattoon, Charleston. We've not said a whole lot there. There's not a whole lot happening in this area here. West of Effingham, though, is where that activity really is getting going. And you can actually see these storms here from Vandalia down I-70 towards St. Louis. Storms are starting to cluster together. In fact, they've issued that severe thunderstorm warning from Vandalia to the south and west there in Fayette County, as well as parts of Bond, and I think that's Madison County. See that red box around there? Red box meaning it's a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. And what those storms are doing is diving a little more to the south here. In fact, that Vandalia storm, they're warning that for to be ping pong ball size hail in the Vandalia area with that particular storm. I have not seen if they have warned that or not. Let me see here if the National Weather Service St. Louis has had any reports of that. Again, we're kind of working with two different offices here in our area. They are saying there's some rotation in those storms, and so they're continuing to watch that. And so that's with the storm in Fayette County down towards St. Louis. What these storms here are going to do is they are going to cluster together and move to south and east there. So they'll be moving that way. And that's going to be out of our area. No longer be our problem soon. So that's some good news. Storms in the backside here. There still are a few thunder showers. One here to the east of Oconee. And they're east of 51. That's towards the Cowden Herrick area. That's moving to the south and east, and it's really dissipating quickly here. Same thing with this storm in Montgomery County. Nokomis sits here, not looking great. The Auburn storm seems to be losing its energy, losing its thump there. So I feel good about these storms. We still have the one storm with a tornado warning here for Christian and Macon County. And that's where we've been here with the storm that's near the Mount Auburn area. Still holding its own, still looking decent over the Mount Auburn area. There's only been reports of funnel clouds from this. Have not had actual tornado touchdowns reported today yet. But that doesn't mean that we still cannot get that with this active tornado warning. This goes till 8:45. It's 8:38. If this warning is dropped in the back, we'll be cutting back to programming pretty quickly after 8:45. If it is extended, then that means that the news at 9 is going to have to be probably washed out in CIX until those warnings go away. So we will watch and see what that plays out. But just wanted to give a heads up. We're probably in that 5 to 10 minute window of where we will figure out what our next steps are if we see these warnings continue or if they are dropped. And so that is our one storm that we're dealing with there. The top right is Seth, still out there. Bottom right is Mattoon. I'm going to switch that camera back to the Effingham one because I bet we're probably able to see a lot more lightning as the sun goes down. Maybe we don't get as much visibility from things. And that's pretty dark there. Look how dark that is down there in that bottom right camera. So we'll see if there's any lightning. bring the lightning shot up in a little bit. Might need to widen that camera out. I'm okay with that 3 box there. Seth will come and go. He's moving north in 51 now. It looks like he's crossing the railroad tracks north of Pana there. So yeah, you can see some of that lightning as well in Effingham on that Effingham camera. Very dark with that storm in the way. I'll turn a little more to the right, and you're kind of able to make out a little more now. That is the old storm. That is kind of the old updraft. It looks much more ragged in nature. It's not as much to it. I haven't seen much lightning over there. Certainly the bigger problem is those storms towards Vandalia to the south and west. And the good news is those will carry out of our area, not be an Effingham County problem. But that doesn't mean that things might not change before long, which is something that we'll have to watch and keep an eye on. Got myself a drink of water here real quick. So we got the tornado warning here for Christian and Macon County. That's all we're dealing with at this point. At this point, if I drew you a structure of what a supercell thunderstorm that is low precipitation looks like, this is what it would be. Kind of outline it here. Oh, that's not a curved line. Let me get a curved line here. If I kind of outline it, and I am not an artist, but I'll give you an idea of what it looks like here. You're kind of looking at the base of the storm here, and then see that little hook that shows up there. That's the storm, the outline. This hook right here, what we're seeing is mid-level rotation pulling in that direction. And so that's kind of what we're watching with this particular storm now. Mount Auburn, city limits, you're all clear. It's south and east of you, not by much. This is a slow-moving storm. The latest with this, the National Weather Service is that it's moving at 20 miles an hour. I mean, this thing has been crawling along, a slow mover here. But it's also been pretty visible and photogenic as well, with our spotters sending us some really impressive photos. I'll get a chance to go back through and show you some of those in a little bit. Right now, it's going to be about 2 miles southeast of Mount Auburn, nearly due north of Stonington, maybe just 1 mile west and then due north of Stonington by about 5 miles. Blue Mountain sits here, probably getting a little bit of rain there. Might be some quarter-size hail in there. I doubt there's even that with this particular storm, but there certainly is just a little rotation that is evident still with that. As I pull the velocity up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually lift the beam and see if we can see anything stand out. And you can kind of see here, it's very weak. One of the issues we're fighting here is that if you want to see something on radar, you've got to have rain. You've got to have things that can be sampled. And in these low precipitation storms, you sometimes aren't able to see those as clearly, and that's the case with this. But spotters have reported funnel clouds. We've had visual confirmation of that wall cloud, and this here, that very subtle green and red together, is that mid-level couplet, the rotation closer to the ground. That updraft is tilted a little bit. It's actually going to be a little bit closer to Mount Auburn, but still moving away, and so that's something that we are continuing to watch with this storm as it moves to the south and west of Decatur. Kind of zooming in there. You've got Osborneville, Grove City, some smaller towns that are showing up there in the Christian County area, and kind of bring some other information in real quick here. We're kind of looking at, this will be, let's see, there's not a whole lot in that area. A couple of cemeteries out that direction that are popping up, but we're in some rural farm ground territory here. Grove City doesn't have much to it. There's like a Methodist church there. If you go south from Mount Auburn, as you're heading back towards Taterville, there's where the curve in the road is right here, that 1 mile jog that you go through. It's gonna be east of that. Grove City, you're clear. Straight line south of Mount Auburn to the east. You can see really close that hook. It's not done yet. It's still rotating, and that's why this tornado warning continues here, as we've been on for about an hour and 25 minutes or so, give or take a little bit, and we're here now still at 8:43, interrupting your regular programs here. You got Blue Mound kind of heading that direction, Osborneville, things of that. I'd like to check in with Seth real quick. If Seth's got some lightning, you just saw some lightning in the top right corner of the screen there from his storm tracker shot, and so perhaps we're able to hear from Seth. Maybe he can hear us this time. He was kind of navigating through town, trying to get through Pana, but now he's moving north pretty quickly and able to actually see that storm there as he zooms in. So I think he can hear me now. Looks like he's probably south of, let's see, he'd be south of Assumption still maybe, or is he past Assumption? I'm not sure what his position is. Seth, can you hear us? If you can, let us know where you are and what you're seeing.
Yep, Jacob, you got it right there the second time. We're just south of Assumption right now. We're about 2 miles before town, and we haven't been able to see lightning on this thing for very long, but just recently it started to pick up here. And yeah, this storm set to expire here in just a minute. We'll see what the decision is on it, but we can still make out some pretty decent structure here, even from a distance. Even if you kind of look to the, we'll try my best to zoom in, you can kind of see the base of it down there, kind of to the left of the trees right now behind the trees. But we've still got some decent, definition to this storm, still some electricity with it. So we'll kind of keep an eye on it. Even if it drops the warning, we'll just kind of watch it here for a little bit. And at least for the moment, from what I can see, it looks like they are not issuing one just yet. There's sometimes a little middle ground time before it gets. Okay, so now it looks like I got a notification. It looks like we are going to expire that warning, that tornado warned storm that is now moving into northern Christian County and southern Macon County. So we are still tracking this thing. Not that it can't continue to produce some sort of activity, but it certainly doesn't look that intimidating at the moment. But we're still getting some pretty all right electricity on it, some decent lightning as we are soon to enter Pana here. I think my move is to jump into Pana here and maybe just go a little west, see what we can find in Taylorville. Even if this thing isn't severe warned or even tornado warned there, we'll continue to watch it and monitor it. But I don't see too much of a reason to be too concerned about this one right now. So we'll see what we can see as we approach town here in Assumption. But Jacob, we're just about 2 miles outside of Assumption. We'll keep an eye on this thing as we send it back inside to you.
All right, thanks so much for that, Seth. We're going to wrap up at 8:47 if we can. That is about 45 seconds from now. Our tornado warning has been dropped. It has expired. We no longer have a tornado warning in effect for anywhere in central Illinois. Still do have that severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County. Still do have a severe thunderstorm watch that's in place for central Illinois until 3 a.m. I think this is going to be it for the night, but we will be here just in case something does change as these storms are trying to work their way to the south and east. Likely that watch gets dropped a little earlier than that. We'll have updates on WCIX News at 9, also on WCIA News at 10 o'clock with the latest on storms are. I'm Jacob Dickey with meteorologist Seth Bohnhoff in the Storm Tracker. Thanks for following us here for severe weather coverage tonight on WCIA 3 News.